Hey everybody, it's Jeremy, and welcome back to EA Tetragrammaton, where we are playing This is turn 82. Let's jump into things. Okay, so Hollow has successfully empowered himself in blood. Ah, right, yeah, Hollow's empowering himself. Gotcha. I was like, wait, what? So that's fine. El Sham 15 was suddenly attacked by 3 brass claws. This guy was... Oh. What is this? Well, he's dead. Unfortunate. Gudu 49 summoned some Kusarikus and was attacked. Alright, he's got a whole army. Hopefully he can... Oof. Those bone claws, they hurt. They got the deeps. But we win. We got another Kusarikus. We got 8 blood slaves in Tesiphon. Nice. Gala 35 was attacked by 2 float cat horrors. Yeah, this ain't gonna work out well. Oh well, the Tangle Vines. It did not matter in the end. Alright, and now we've got some interesting battles. You'll notice we have a battle against Mictlan, and then we have a battle against... Oopsie. Let's see how things go in Sitha. Alright, so we are up against Belphegor and quite a few Ocelotls, actually. So, this is going to be enough to trigger gem usage for us. So everything comes up. We get our storm power going. We get our mass protection, wind guide, storm goes up, relief comes up. We get the just deletion, and fortunately, the storm comes up before the Ocelotls are capable of flying. They don't make weird difficulties for us. You will notice that the Ocelotls are not just insta-dying. They are taking a lot of damage, but these guys have a fair amount of hit points to begin with, and 15 shock resistance. So, one Thunder Strike doesn't out-and-out kill them, it does about half damage to them, which is still pretty fucking dope. Cool. So these Ocelotls are up against a bunch of Thunderstrike spam, and some water elementals, and now a bunch of Yetis, etc., etc. Belphegor's moving in. So he's boosted himself all up. Gonna be nice and scurry. Doing back here. Okay, so my communions have taken to doing some interesting stuff, some stuff that I actually kind of find annoying. They do false horrors, and they do these phantasmal warriors or phantasmal wolf spam, which is not a super use of their time. If they were instead doing something like, I don't know, soul slay, maybe, then we could definitely be doing a bit more than what we're doing right now. Belphegor is a beast, so he does just start shrekking people as they come in. Fortunately, he does not have regeneration, so... What's happening here? So once we get him surrounded and his defense skill kind of tanks, right, he kind of gets locked in and just butchered. And back here, so do the other 2. Not a whole lot of, like, phantasmal wolves, man. So let's take a look at our losses here. So we lost 1 Enkidu Spear Guard, and that was it. That was it against, granted, it's not against very much, but Belphegor is a big guy, and that was 25 Ocelotls. That's, you know, those are deadly combatants. Obviously, we had overwhelming force, and we used a shit ton of gems, so that's to be expected. But, hey, we got Frostbrand, we got Shield of Gleaming Gold, we got a Dancing Trident. Cool. So let's check on the next battle. Oh shit. Okay, well that's a different kind of story. We've got Kokobel the Grigory, and I'm assuming this was. I do not think Hinam is like at me, bro. Right? I think Hinam saw an opportunity to potentially get rid, just like I did, right? To potentially get rid of a threatening enemy. He sent in Kokobel to do the job. Now, this guy is set up pretty strongly. However, there's a very glaring weakness to this guy, and that's the fact that he's only got 17 magic resistance. But you'll be damned if we've seen this already. My people do not like to cast Soul Slay. So, I will say what happens is really entertaining, if not frustrating. So Kokobel comes over here. Let's actually watch this from the beginning. We know what we're doing. Let's watch what he does. Well, we think we know what we're doing. Watch what he does. So we got Body Ethereal. Great, that doesn't really matter too terribly much. Personal Luck, okay. Astral Shield, that's a good one. Blessing, and his Bless is Fire Resistance, Reinvigoration, that's a big deal. Magic Resistance 4, that's a big deal, and Blood Search 3, which is actually also a big deal because it adds more Reinvigoration to it. So he's going to have 5 Reinvigoration. He's already got 6. Once he gets a kill, which he will, right? He'll go up to 8. And that's huge, right? That's massive. And he paralyzes one. So his magic resistance is 21 right now. 33 protection, 22 defense, has a vine shield, has good resistances, right, except for ice, has regeneration, has very high, has astral shield, has luck, ethereal, bunch of stuff going on here. So we come in, and immediately the cross between astral shield and vine shield, right, is gonna keep Kokobel very safe. Here's the thing. This entire time, right? I have a big ass communion. They could be casting Soul Slay. It's a single target, single high HP target that is within their means. They'd have to roll well, right? But 21 MR is not outside of the realm of any of these crystal sorceresses with in a communion, right? But instead, you can see what they're doing, right? Instead, they have decided they're going to spam Phantasmal Warrior. So, watch this. This is, again, if it wasn't so frustrating, it would be cool. Look at the amount of Phantasmal Warrior coming out of this. This is almost levels of like Horde of Skeletons style spamming. Like, this is kind of cray-cray. Can't do anything. But, and this entire time, right? With the mixture of defenses, so here's part of the problem, right? We have magic weapons, but we don't have regeneration. So that means, like, he occasionally gets kills on some of these. Actually, most of what he's killing is Phantasmal Warriors. He doesn't really get very many kills. But really what we need is we need our mages to swap over to offensive castings. Either things like Paralyze, or even just something like Mind Burn, Soul Slay, even going so far as to doing something like Thunderstrike, like trying to Thunderstrike Kokobel would work. It would do a lot of damage to us, mind you, right? But it would penetrate his shock resistance. He'd take damage slowly. If he was getting hit with multiple Thunderstrikes a turn, his regeneration wouldn't be enough. He'd go down. Just more Phantasmal Warrior. Fine, guys. It's worked so far. Might as well keep doing it, right? Right? This is something that I do dislike about the AI. It gets stuck on weird things. Like, I don't know how the AI is looking at the battlefield right now and prioritizing summons. We have hundreds of units, but we have most of our original units. Why do you think you need more units? There's one unit on the battlefield. There's one enemy unit on the battlefield. The AI should go, okay, we have enough people. Our people aren't doing anything. What can we do? Can we buff our people? Can we directly target the enemy? AI is dumb, yo. It's real dumb. And it leads to shit like this. Really fucking cool to see this many phantasmal warriors, though. But here's the thing, like, eventually, we rout him. So, he does... let me double check. Yeah, he doesn't have anywhere to route to, so I think Kokobel just died on the route. I would assume. And what did we lose out of that? We lost 2 Inky's Chosen, we lost a Bashushu, and we lost 2 Yetis. Now you'd be like, oh, that's great! That's awesome! Good fucking job! I mean, it didn't go the way it should have gone, right? But you beat a Grigory! Good! We'll get to that here in a second, because that's going to be the majority of this session, or this episode. We also witnessed a battle against Tinom and Mictlin in Trottern. Okay, and this is one of his Sons of Azazel. Very cool. This guy's gonna wreck them. Body Ethereal, Flame Shield, Astral Shield. And he's also got, what does he got? He's actually relatively low protection and high magic resistance comparatively. But he's also higher HP, more regeneration, all that good stuff. Very cool. These guys are just trapped in here. They're trying to run, but they can't. Oof. Goodness gracious. Alright, well, he broke the hell out of that PD. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Very nice. And then we had a battle in Eal, which this is basically nothing. Just up against a bunch of villains. Our guys come in, stab, 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 stab. Nice. We lost 1 Enkidu's Spear Guard. He did not go to training on how to hold up shield and not get hit by stone. Demons are hiding in the province of Troll Peaks. 1,590 people have immigrated into Sawdorth. Your farmers have angered a vengeful entity. A wild boar is now ravaging the province of Agartha, and we're gonna have to deal with that. Actually, I'm gonna divert and deal with that. And then famine has struck the land in World Pillar. While worldwide event has occurred, upcoming arena battle. We're not gonna touch that because deadly disease in Troll Peaks. We cured a disease. Done some patrolling. We finally get the Into of the Moon, and this lady is cool because she is an Astral 3, Earth 1, something like that. She's pretty cool. And amusingly, her enemies claim that she learned her skills from Kokobel, Gregory of Constellations. So, we killed Kokobel. Well, Kokobel died. I assume he died in a retreat. If you have nowhere to retreat to, you die, right? I would assume that's the case. And then Leper Love has now fully reformed. So this is going to be a very weird turn. I say that. We might adjust. I think I'm going to adjust. So I was bringing our forces back. Basically, I was going to pull them back to Pangea because And let's just take a look at this. We can see, oh, has a wound, has many wounds, has wounds. So the annoyance here is that even though we didn't really lose much, many of our slaves have been wounded, right? So this crystal sorceress has lost an eye. This crystal sorceress is now mute. Okay? That's okay. She's still Astral 1. That's all that matters, right? This one is mute and lost both her eyes and has battle fright, right? This one is a chest wound. This one has battle fright. This one is mute and has... This one is feeble-minded, right? So we've got a lot... Basically, our communion just got a whole lot weaker. And trying to make sure we have a fight on our hands in that type of situation is a little dangerous, especially since I think... No, I'm gonna pull back. I'm not gonna be ballsy about this. We have no reason to just get ourselves killed over something. Hinam is attacking. That's fine. We're gonna pull back, and we are actually waiting on reinforcements from our other crystal sorceresses in Ctesiphon. So they're gonna be in Pangaea in 2 turns, and we're gonna move from there. In the meantime, we'll actually head over to Pugria to Agartha, and deal with that wild boar. We're taking our sweet time on getting over to Jabal Kish, but that's fine. We're actually claiming Silverfang's the Shattered Throne this turn. And everything else is mostly just mild movements. In our capital, we are empowering Kamul. So he will be Death 6, and with a staff, Skull Staff, he will be able to very easily be Death 7, do Tartarians every single turn, etc. We're going to, in 2 more turns, we will empower Leper Love as well, right? So he also will be Death 6 as a base. And we're basically waiting for our god to come back. It is winter in the year 6. We've got 2 more turns, I think, before our god comes back. And... I don't know. Like, I'm thinking I'm just gonna let Hinam do the majority of the work here against Mictlan. And we're just gonna see how that goes, basically. And that's pretty much it for the turn. Sorry, that's super anticlimactic, but this has been a very long turn. I had to take some time off, and then this kind of complicated matters, and I got really frustrated that the AI got so stuck on a single thing. You know? It's... Dominion 6. I do this every once in a while, right? Where I'm like, okay, here's a problem with Dominions. And here's how Dominion 6 should fix it. There really needs to be some sort of adaptive AI in Dominions. When... At certain points throughout the... And I'm trying to think of, like, what's the easiest way to do something like that, right? Because obviously, like, the best case scenario is the... After scripting, every single turn, there's an adaptive check by the AI to try to determine what the best method of progressing forward successfully in the battle is, right? That's the theory. But that's hard to implement. That's difficult to actually arrange in an efficient way. But especially a game like this. But there needs to be something in the game that forces checks to change the AI behavior, right? One of the simple things, one of the easy ways you can do that is, I say easy ways, one of the simpler ways to do that is checks based off of a target's health or the total HP of an army, right? The percentage pool HP of an army, right? So if you're getting beaten, right, do you fall back to more defensive options or healing options or things like that, right? Versus if a battle goes for a certain amount of time and your army is mostly okay, but the enemy does not break or rout or whatever, right? That should trigger offensive usage for mages, right? So it's the combination of like doing triggers based off of both your HPs and other potential checks. There should be adaptive AI in the concept of like, oh, I saw my enemy use a thunder spell. I am not protected against lightning. I have the power to protect myself against lightning. Lightning protection. Right? That's adaptive AI. It's oh, I've summoned 15 phantasmal warriors. They're still alive, but the enemy is not taking damage. Stop summoning phantasmal warriors, right? Or the scenario of, oh, I have attacked my enemy directly with Soul Slay or Fireball or whatever, and I have hit and done no damage. Or in the case of like Soul Slay, I have Soul Slayed 5 times and been unable to penetrate my enemy's magic resistances. Swap to a different spell, right? Try something else. That's adaptive AI, and that needs... This is a great game. Great game. I absolutely adore this game. Love this game. But that's the next step in this game. Is having AI that is legitimately responsive. And you can see some of that type of stuff. Granted, don't get me wrong, it's manipulated. And it's manipulated on a person-to-person basis through mods, right? Take Lucid's AI mod, for example, right? That's not adaptive AI necessarily. That's just readjusting the weight that AI places on different spells in different situations, based off of a person's opinion. And Lucid's opinion is a great opinion, but you're going to find different opinions across different mods, etc., etc. And really, at the end of the day, that's just taking a person's idea of what should be preferential, and adjusting those knobs and dials, right, to be cast this more frequently, cast this less frequently, cast this more frequently, cast this less frequently, etc. But it's not improving the AI to actively make that decision, right? It's like, it's just saying, try not to cast this the majority of the time. And I think that's one of the next things that really breaks Dominion 6 into the being a stellar game. Amazing game. Great game. I love it. But I'm always looking to improve it. And I think that's one of the next steps, is an adaptive AI system, right? Even if it's as simple, like, and there's ways to do it for real, and then there's ways to fake it, right? Some of the ways to fake it are just to give us options, right? So I say options, so that means nothing. So, for example, you start off a battle with five choices, your script, right? 5 things you can do. And then say that you can have a tactics option for battle. So script all your people. That's what they're going to do initially, right? And then you can set a general tactic for your army, right? The offensive, defensive, do something like support, or do something like target the high HP, right? That type of thing, right? And if you want to get more in depth with it, you could make triggers, or give the player the option of saying, okay, so here's your 5 scripts, and then the general at the start of the battle, we want you to be defensive, okay? At the midpoint of the battle, right? So if the battle goes to X number of turns, you're going to check again, and then you're going to change the battle tactics to another option, right? So give the player the scenario saying, like, if we are losing, right? For example, base that off of army HP, right? If we are less than half HP at this point, swap to this strategy, right? If we are winning, if we're over half HP at this point, right? Use this strategy. If the enemy has over half HP at this point, use this strategy. If the enemy has less than half HP at this point, use this strategy. Right, and those are just examples of like what the triggers can be, or what the targeting systems. But that's kind of like the faux way to do it. And I don't know, because I know Illwinter's a small team. It's just 2 people, right? So that's still a small team. But there's a lot that you can and can't do in that type. So anyways, that's it for the turn. I'm not like upset or anything like that, but we are going to back off because we don't want to. Our communion here is a very big part of our strength, so we need to bring in new members for the communion, get them set up and available, and then respond from there. Okay, so that's going to be it for the turn. I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.